So we pick back up in the second round of Senbatsu Koshien. Sato has an early lead, and their starting pitcher Furuya is maintaining it by throwing 96 miles an hour. He's effectively wild, walking some batters, but eventually getting out of trouble, and this is basically how he's been pitching for the last year. And this idea of characters and players doing pretty much the same thing is going to be a recurring thing throughout this episode. Speaking of recurring, we get reintroduced to two of my favorite characters from the first two parts of this show. They're the reporters, and you know them because they're always holding notepads and pencils, but their function in this show is strictly expository. You have the female reporter, whose only job is to bounce questions off the male reporter, who then essentially serves as the narrator to the show, as he's just answering questions. It would be a clever way to get exposition in the show if that wasn't their only function in the show, but that is literally all that they do. They observe what they see, and they tell the audience information that they may have missed. As someone who's spent some time as an amateur reporter, it's kind of disheartening to see that this is how the show treats the media. But I'm not expecting that to change because I don't expect very much to change at all in this show. Prime suspect number one being our main character Sawamura, who is exactly the same as he's always been. Furuya comes off the mound and he tries to lift up his spirits, but he ends up being loud and annoying. His teammates laugh it off because the team is winning and there's no reason to really interrupt him, but that doesn't make it funny or clever or really all that entertaining. So then Furuya comes up to bat, he hits a 2-run home run. He exits the game, Kawakami comes in, gives up a couple of runs, but then settles down. Sato finishes off the game and advances to the best of 8. After this, the show spends the next 3 minutes giving us introductions to the other 7 teams in the group. One of them we know already, it's Yakushi, the team that Sato beat in the fall preliminaries. The other 6 are teams that I think we're supposed to care about, but considering that half of them are going to be eliminated before they face our heroes, I'm not entirely sure why they get any attention at all. Especially since the first 2 episodes focused entirely on this other team from Hokkaido. And this really gives the show its first subplot, because the team from Hokkaido is very much aware that Furuya is a pitcher from Hokkaido as well, and that he could have very easily gone to their high school instead of going to Tokyo. Furuya now has to wrestle between his kin, essentially, who wondered why he would give up his hometown to come play in the bigger city. And now he has to wrestle with the idea of, oh, I probably could have made it to the big show if I had just stayed in my hometown and not left my comfort zone. It is an interesting thing to look out for, and this is the one arc so far that has caught my attention, but this is very much a symptom of something that Ace of Diamonds suffers from, and that they seem to only have room for one character arc at a time. Right now, Sawamura is the same, all the coaches are the same, Miyuki is the same, it's now Furuya's time to get some character development. And with a show with so many characters, you would think that it would be able to juggle multiple character arcs at once? But no, we're stuck with about 18 minutes of the same thing and about 2 to 3 minutes per episode of new interesting developments. And that's kind of why I can't really get too excited about this show. Towards the end, we see the assistant coach who's all in on Furuya, saying that Furuya should be starting and ending every single game. And it's like he didn't even watch the previous tournament where the team was only successful because they were able to rotate 3 pitchers. This is just the same nonsense he's been blabbering because this is what we've come to expect out of this coach. I am not so coddled in my viewing experience that I need all of these characters to essentially project who they've always been. I kind of crave development. This is why I'm latching myself on to this Furuya subplot, because I hope that it will change him as a character. but I'm not expecting too much out of this show. It's still really beautiful. I noticed this time how excellent the sound quality was, especially with the ball coming off the bat so many times. But otherwise, it's very easy to tune out and just let the show wash over you. Looks like in the next episode, our heroes are going to face the team from Hokkaido, the team that actually won the Summer Koshien the year before. So there is some unfinished business with regards to that, because the team that the Hokkaido team beat was Inashiro, who was the team that Sato always wanted to beat but could never beat. I'm expecting this to be at least a 3 to 4 episode arc, and so maybe it'll be a little bit more the same. But I feel like I can't really ask for more out of this show. So, yeah, see you next week.